Hello, everyone. So today I just wanted to do a little more of a rant style video. Those, are fun for me to do, and I know people tend to enjoy listening to them while they're doing something else, and they're fun to kind of just get opinions of people, especially in the comments. I think I've had the most insightful and fun discussions with people in my comment section after doing a rant video. Um, oh goodness, I need to stop doing these videos in the morning because water. I need water before I make videos like this, and I don't have any. So if my voice sounds a little weird, or if I have any weird pauses, just know I'm clearing my throat. Um, I've been recording a lot of videos in the morning recently. I gotta kind of stop doing that. Anyway, so um, I was recently watching one of the videos by Rattle talking about the state of SSO and what players want to see in the future, as well as what is making them mad right now. Um, as somebody who has played this game since 2015, um, I believe that I'm qualified to share my opinion on this. Um, One of the points that was brought up that I absolutely agree with is Star Stable's harshest critics and the meanest reviewers are the ones who care the most. And either I'm using this to justify the fact that I'm really rude, or that I truly believe it, is up to you. But I believe that that's absolutely accurate, that the people who are the most rude to this game are the ones who do care the most. Um, I love this game. For as long as I've played it, like it has undergone a lot of change. And I remember talking about in my last rant, um, talking about SSO's changes, and I don't know. I would say that I wouldn't say that I'm a defender of the game, but I wouldn't say that I like absolutely hate it and want to see it change. I play devil's advocate. I'm a huge devil's advocate. Um, when the community is yelling one thing, I will usually yell the other. That's just the way I've always been. Um, so with that in mind, with everyone saying like, oh, Star Stable isn't what it used to be, and like, oh, it's bad now and it's different. Like, obviously, I'm going to disagree. Um, Honestly, the thing that I brought up in my previous rant video was that a lot of people play this game for nostalgia, and while that is true, and you can't like say that, oh, you can't play this game for nostalgia. That's stupid. Obviously you can. Um, One thing I'd like to mention is the differences. I remember talking about like the textures, the music, the UI, everything. I remember saying like, yeah, this game is nostalgic, but I don't play it for nostalgia because that nostalgia's gone. This is a new game. I still stand by that statement. This game is its own product. It has changed drastically, but there are certain things that remain the same. Um, that being the fact that the the fact that the game devs rarely listen to their players, and things of that nature. So along that train of thought, that the devs don't listen to their player base, I would like to talk about my issues with their horses at the moment. Um, Star Stable is a company, and it will always be a company, meaning that they are focused on profit margins. So a big point that was made in the video that I had watched was that, oh, Star Stable, they don't listen to their players, and they do this, that, and the other, and everyone's mad, and they can never do anything right, basically. Well, I would like to argue that that's not true. And the reason that I would like to argue that is because um, Star Stable, again, is a company, and they're always going to do what is popular at the time. They're always going to try and capitalize on what can make the most money. The Pride event is the best example of that I can think of. Give the players super highly overpriced tech and pump out a bunch of horses that, can represent the Pride community, and you're good to go. Cool. You made a quick 15 bucks. Um, Wait, no. It's what, $25 for 500 star coins now? Right. So they made a quick 22 bucks on a double star coin weekend. Um, honestly, I believe that games like that are kind of scummy. I believe that they are taking advantage of a community. Um, it's no secret that the LGB community, or whatever the acronym is, I apologize. It's no secret that that community has been um, treated very poorly in the past. It's no secret that that community has had to fight for their rights for a very long time. Although I'm not a member of that community, not being able to marry who you want to marry is really dumb. Why would you ever? Why? You know? So I get it. Like, that community had to fight for a long time for some of the most basic rights that you can think of. So that community had achieved a whole lot in a very short amount of time. I'm very proud that gay marriage is now legal, and a lot of my friends who are gay can now very happily live with their partners and live just a normal life. Um, with that in mind, to take advantage of that community, because now a lot of members of that community make it their entire life that they're part of that community, you're just preying on those people and taking money from them and using them to, you know, to reach the amount of income that you expected to get for the year. It's kind of, I know I've made this point already, but I think it's trashy. Um, Last year it wasn't as bad, um, because they had the Cloud Kingdom event and they actually had events for people to do and to enjoy the time and enjoy the rainbows and the pretty colors and the quest of getting back all the rainbow colors for the Cloud Kingdom. Like, even as someone who wasn't a member, still not a member of that community, it was still an event that I could enjoy partaking in because there was something to do. Um, I believe that Star Stable nowadays really doesn't have that content of there's something to do. Um, the other problem is that they they cut a lot of corners where they think they can, and they don't listen to their audience. Um, a good example was saying that if anyone remembers back at Christmas, the Star Stable team was not planning on giving us our yearly Christmas star coins. Um, The Star Stable has, for the last, as long as I can remember, given their players a 300 star coin code under the Christmas tree on December 25th. Um, they had done this for as long as I can remember, and last Christmas they didn't do that. Um, a lot of players were very, very, very mad that they did not receive their yearly star coins, and it started a boycott. Um, Personally, I didn't care. I wasn't even in the country at the time. Um, I didn't get home until January. I was gone the entire month of December. So literally, by the time that I got home and got on Star Stable, and collected all of my gifts, I I noticed that there wasn't a star coin code in game, so I checked their Instagram and I saw the code on there, so I just redeemed the code and went on with my day. I didn't even realize that anything had happened. So, although I am not the best example, even though I didn't really have any stakes, and really know about the fact they did not give us our code, um, even in hindsight, I'm not really that mad. Um, I saw a lot of people were outraged at this, and rightfully so. You know, it's a promise that they've kept for years, and then changing it just to save a little bit of money is pretty bad. But I think it does kind of put a bad taste in the players' mouths for different reasons. Um, the Even though, okay, so if you're from a business perspective, you always want to make more money. You want to be able to pay your teams. You want to make a little bit of profit. Um, this is a company, the goal is to make money after all. From an entry-level business class, you would say, oh, well, if we hand out star coins, which is our main source of income, then, if we hand this out for free, people won't buy our product, we will lose money. Yes, from a very fundamental level, that is correct. However, if you look more into the culture of this game and the way it has been managed for years and the way the players play the game and look forward to this thing, that is probably the worst idea, because that is like going to the doctors as a kid and being promised a lollipop when you leave for being such a good kid. You're a really good kid every year. You always get your lollipop, and then one day your mom decides, nah, you don't get a lollipop this time. Um, you are taught just from the experience of going to the doctor that if I behave, I get a treat. Um, Even though it's not exactly the same, it's a very close comparison. Players are taught that if I play the game and I support the game, come December, I get my treat. I get my star coins. I can buy that horse that I wanted because I needed a few more star coins, and now I have them. So taking that away, now people don't care. You have broken your your promise, your tradition. You are no longer upholding your end of the bargain, so why should the players uphold theirs if you can so easily turn your back on them? Another reason that is such a big deal is because this game is structured in such a way where the star coin currency cannot be obtained through anything that you can do in-game. There are no in-game measures that can lead to unlocking star coins. So the only way to get star coins is to either purchase them with real money or to wait until Saturday to get your weekly allowance. If you want to do some quick math really quick with me, which was never my strongest subject, there are 52 weeks in a year, which means there are 52 opportunities for you to get star coins, meaning that you get 5,200 star coins a year. Although that might seem like a lot, it's really not, because let's say, obviously horses have different prices ranging from 750, 800, 850, 900, 950, all of those numbers. So let's choose a happy medium and say that every horse that you are buying is 800 star coins. With that in mind, if you never buy star coins and you ignore all of the star coin codes that come out and you never claim your allowance from Star Stable for Christmas, you can buy 6 horses. With the way that Star Stable has been giving out codes recently, and of course with the Christmas 300, you can buy more than that. But if we are going to look at it from the most basic light possible, you get you get 6 horses, and that's final, just 6. Um, Although that might seem like a lot, training a horse doesn't take that long. Even if you are just passively collecting the special moment experience, the special moment is like a fifth of your horse's XP bar, and it is quantified with the amount, or with the level that your horse currently is. You get what, 60 XP for level 1, you get 580 for level 14. Obviously you don't get any for 15 because it's max. People say that, oh, the answer matters. It does not. If you do the special moment with your horse, you can literally spam through the whole thing and click whatever option you want. It will not change the amount of experience you get. You can even tell that it won't, because when you see the special moment, it'll tell you the amount of XP it'll give you on the side. Why would that number change? I don't think Star Stable can really code that. I don't think it would be fair to promise, oh, you can get up to this amount and then give you whatever amount they feel like. That's dumb. So no, the number is quantified due to horse level. But besides that, the horses in this game do not take incredibly long to get to max level. The experience that it takes to get to max level is 33,000. Considering that you get let's say on your average race, you get 250. Most most horse experience related things are 250 experience. That is only what, how many races? Hang on, I cannot find my phone. Oh, there it is. No, I cannot do quick math. So, doing quick calculation, 333,000 experience divided by 250 experiences, that is 132 races. Exactly 132. Not to mention your special moments or any other random horse experience things you do. All you have to do is the 250 experience races 132 times. That might seem like a lot, but considering every race on average is between like 2 to 4 minutes, it doesn't really take that long. You can max any horse in a week. You can do it in as little as, like, I've done it in as little as 3 days. Now that you can infinitely repeat quests, you can do it in one day if you really want to. So let's say that 132 races are required, and let's say that it takes, let's be super lenient. Let's say it takes 4 minutes to do a race. That means it'll take you 33 minutes to fully max your horse, and that's assuming that you are just constantly racing and not, taking the time to go between race to race. In 33 minutes, you can have a fully maxed horse. That's all it takes. If anybody else finds that a little ridiculous, I do. So my point in saying all of that, if it takes 33 minutes to maximize a horse to level 15, and you only have enough for 6 horses every year, that means you only do 198 minutes of training for your entire, like, for 1 year. If you buy 6 horses, it's only 198 minutes of training. That is like 8 days, 8 and a quarter to be exact. That's a little over a week. So out of the 365 days in a year, 52 weeks in a year, all of that time boils down to a little over 1 week of training content. Now, obviously the game offers more than that, and there is more to do than simply train. However, and of course the new events that come out are very nice, but if you want something to riot about, the star coin prices are insane, and that's what drives sales. Obviously, Star Stable is going to continue to make money off of star coins, and since that is their main income, of course, they tried to cut corners where they could to make more money. Considering the average player can only have 6 horses per year, if you want a decent amount of horses to train and a decent amount of things to do, you have to open your bank account. You have to get that credit card. They were counting on that. So the fact that they thought they could get away with it and players got mad and now they're making less money because those players had rioted, it really bit them in the face. With that in mind, do I think that Star Stable has gone downhill since then? No. I don't think that it really has. I think that it has been mismanaged and it has kind of shaken some of the faith that the players have in this game. But I don't believe that. I mean, a lot of players did quit over this, but I don't believe that it was the main reason that players had quit. It is infuriating, it truly is, but they are making points to fix it. Now let's talk about why Star Stable changed. Star Stable changed because people started throwing riots and absolutely boycotting the game and refusing to buy star coins because they didn't give us our allowance. Is that a standard reaction? Honestly, yes. I didn't expect anything less of the community. If you're promised that many star coins every year and the company says, no, I'm not giving that to you, just so they could gain a little extra money, that is a little scummy. That's kind of gross. I don't disagree. So, with that in mind, I don't believe that the players having to throw a riot and boycott the game should be the answer. It's really annoying that it takes that much effort for Star Stable to actually pay attention. And here's the problem with it coming down to that is, yes, it worked this time, but it's like training animals, honestly. Um, if you, I knew somebody who would give their dogs treats to shut them up whenever they were on the phone. So when she was on the phone and the dog was barking, she'd give it treats so it would stop barking. Well, in her mind, oh, if I give him treats, he can't bark. Therefore, I will not be disrupted while I'm on the phone. However, from the dog's perspective, oh, if I bark and when she's on the talkie box thing, then I get treats. So did that stop the dog from barking when she's on the phone? No. In fact, not only did it not stop it, it encouraged it more. So whenever she grabbed her phone and pulled it up to her ear, the dog would instantly start barking because it knew that if it did that, it would get rewarded. Um, I believe the Star Stable community and even the developers themselves are kind of functioning a lot like this. Um, if the players complain, then they are teaching the developers that the players are always right. If the players boycott the game and don't spend money, then the developers do what they want. The players get those extra star coins. They get what they wanted, you know? So now what do you think players are going to do the next time something upsets them? They're going to riot. Um, in a way that's very unhealthy because now, like, the developers are like scared to add certain things to the game, and players just get more mad because not everyone is on the same page. You cannot keep everybody happy. Um, I've said it before that Star Stable's environment is very unique because not only is this a game for kids that is intended for children, it is so nostalgic that even adults um, still play this game. So the difference between the 5 to 11 female audience that Star Stable mainly targets versus the ones who are over 18 is insane. What does a 5-year-old want? What does an 11-year-old want? What does a 16-year-old want? What does an 18-year-old want? What does a 25-year-old want? Not to mention, not all these players are girls. Not only is it all of these ages, now you're factoring in male players. You're factoring in um, all like what do boys want? What do girls want? Are girls comfortable with boys playing their game? Um, all kinds of things like this. Like there are so many more factors to consider that it kind of gets lost in translation in a way. Um, it's kind of what do you do, you know? And there are certain things that I will agree with the fan base about, and there are certain things that I will agree with Star Stable about. One of which is the audience retention and the updates. I do not believe that the the players always need a constant content update. I don't believe that we need an amazing event every single week, and that they need to, every single event or every single update needs to be something big and new because that's just not feasible. Um, I see so many weeks people complaining that, oh, Star Stable didn't add enough to the game. Um, Star Stable is still a company. They are still growing, and they need their maintenance updates. Although they're not nearly as entertaining as, the quests or the new horses, but you have to remember there are still bugs in this game, and even though a lot of them are never fixed, they do still get around to them, and when they do get around to them, people complain because the update's boring. So what is it? Do you guys want the bugs fixed, or do you want more content? You know, you can't have both. Um, Star Stable updates their game every single week. That is 52 updates a year. So you got to remember they don't skip updates. So what do you expect them to do when they're adding something big and new to the game, like for example the updated Hollow Woods? When they're working on a giant update such as that, they're not going to put out a giant update in the meantime because that takes away their focus from this new giant thing. Um, it's shameful in my opinion that that the community gets so angry about these small updates. And don't get me wrong, it's very hard to keep player retention when the only thing that they had added um, was, you know, what even was this last update? The bazaar. Right, that's another thing to complain about. This recent update, they added the bazaar, which is where they're doing discounts on horses. Um, that being the only thing in the update, again, they're probably working on something bigger. This was just a filler update. However, this was a filler update that was a total cash grab. Um, I don't really appreciate them doing that. I get that it makes horses more affordable, but they're doing it to inspire people to, oh, look at this price tag. It's smaller. And they threw out a double star coin week. This entire week has been double star coins. Um, they're doing it just to get money. And is that a bad thing? No. But why are they doing it? Is Star Stable low on money? Um, Honestly, I would believe that it is. I saw their numbers. During COVID, they made double their usual income, and they did kind of splurge on purchases. And now that COVID is over and kids are getting outside and hanging out with their friends in person and no longer hanging out in Star Stable, they needed to dial back their spending, and I believe that it did scare the company. Um, that's not, do I think that Star Stable is going to keel over and die because of it? No. But I do believe that there's a lot that they should do in order to keep up player retention, and getting rid of small events like the Cloud Kingdom is not it. I get that they say that it was buggy and old and needed an update. That's fine. I even agree with that. Um, but to remove it entirely instead of just not updating it and leaving it alone, it kind of sucks. But even if they did leave it in, players would complain that there wasn't anything new about it. Players will always find a way to complain, and, you know, give people an inch, they will take a mile. Um, Players don't exactly read the news all the time. So even if you say, hey, we we left the Cloud Kingdom in the game, enjoy it. We didn't change it because there are bugs. We're trying to think of something for next year. Even if they said that, the only players that would read that message would be the people who are mature and read the news and understand how to read the news. The amount of players in this game who don't know how to read the news is shocking. Like, every single day, I see someone in Global. What was the update? Where are the new horses? What's going on? Like, the news is even in game most of the time, and if it's not, it's on the website. You literally purchased and downloaded this game from that website. You know how to get there. Um, the amount of people who just don't look it up for themselves is crazy. I don't believe the news articles are that hard to read. They make everything very obvious. They have it's just so easy to find the information you're looking for. But the problem is, so many players are ridiculously lazy and don't even do it. So if you want to keep players up to date, you could even put it in the event. Hey, remember, this event is not permanent. We are looking for something new in the future. We are sorry that there is nothing new. Please enjoy the event nonetheless. Something like that. Players will still overlook it, and players will still be mad, because this community is very passionate, and they are very aggressive. Um, am I mad at them for that? No. But Star Stable's player base is very, very dramatic and very passionate about what they believe in, and they often ask for more than the games can give them. Um, that's not a bad thing. In fact, I think it inspires Star Stable to do better, because this is what your players expect. They know that you can do this, do better to reach those expectations. Um, because the player base is so passionate, I don't think Star Stable knows what direction to go in or who to listen to. Because I'm saying something, someone else is going to say something else, someone else is going to say something entirely different than that. they're not going to listen to all of us. They're going to listen to whatever group of people is barking the loudest. Um, a way to compare that to is in owls. When owls are raising their young, they will often feed the biggest and the strongest owl chick, and the rest of the clutch will starve and either scrape by and be much weaker and smaller than the sibling, or they will simply perish because the parent is not nurturing them. I believe that Star Stable community members are following that same trend. The people who scream the loudest and make the most noise are the players who are being listened to, and they're the ones being nurtured and catered to. However, the rest of us who truly want what is best for the game and have some good ideas, we are simply being ignored and left to, you know, either play the game or quit and fade. Um, There, I know that I've said this in my walking horse review. Star Stable, they watch like one video on a horse and base their entire horse's movement on that one video. Um, they failed the walking horse. They failed the Pasofino. Those two horses could have been amazing if only they had removed the trot. But they are listening to the biggest and the loudest audience, and they are putting in these horses that don't trot. They're literally making up trots to put them in the game. Like, where did they get those examples? Because walking horses do not trot. Passos do not trot. They literally made up these trots from somewhere to put them on these horses because every horse has to trot in this game. I feel like if Star Stable actually took their time to make good horses and to make them unique, players would love them a whole lot more. Um, the Paso and the Walker are popular because they're pretty. I don't think that a single player, if you're not raised with those horses, I don't think a single player could tell you something unique about any of those breeds. It's because they don't do anything to express those uniquenesses. So, we are left with these shells of what could have been amazing horses. If Star Stable had given the Paso Fino a Paso Corto instead of, or what do they have? They have the Classic Fino and the Paso Largo, right? I think. If they had added the Paso Corto to the game, then and removed the trot, it would have been a super specialized horse. You would have had people so passionate about that horse. And there are people saying, "Oh, well, you need to trot in dressage." No, you don't. Gated dressage is a thing. So I grew up on a farm that raised Tennessee walking horses. I grew up on the back of a Tennessee walking horse. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about when it comes to gated horses. We went to, we did, I never showed really, but which I'm kind of glad of because, there's a lot of accusations with Big Lick and everything. While that is not something I had ever done, yes, that is a horrible practice. Showing flat shod, showing equitation, dressage, padded horses. My family was very big on padded horses. That's what I knew, So to say that it doesn't exist, it's just a lie, you know. Gated shows, gated dressage, it all exists. It does. In fact, I'd even stretch to say that it's even more fun than trots, But that's just personal opinion, so I'm not going to further on that fact. Opinion. So, with that in mind, them saying, "Oh, well, it was too late." That's what they emailed me. I emailed them and said, "Hey, walking horses don't trot, right?" And then I gave them a bunch of links to how they could make the horse move. I wrote them their history so they knew how important it was that the horses don't trot, and they still made them trot anyway. And the email that they sent me back was, "Oh, okay, yeah, you're right. They don't trot. We kind of missed the mark on that one. Well, it's too late in the production process. We can't go back and make them not trot, so they're gonna trot." And I'm thinking, so you're just going to disrespect and disgrace an entire horse because you're too lazy to do it the right way the first time? Okay. All right. All right. Um, to say, "Oh, well, they already put that much work into it. Like, why is that a big deal?" They have changed. That's why I call BS. they've changed the gaits of other horses in the past. The Lusitano, the Lipizan Generation 2, the starter horse, the Triconer, the Generation 1 Danish Warmblood, all of these horses have had their animations reworked. So you're going to tell me that, oh, well, we can't redo it because that'd be too much effort on our team? You reworked horses that had been out for eons, and you can't rework one that came out like a year ago? You can't rework it before you release it so the public enjoys it more and it's more iconic? Yeah, okay. All right. Yep, that makes total sense. You're correct. Does anyone else see why I'm so angry at that and why that is absolutely a lie? Um, I saw that when they told me that they're not going to do it. I saw it as an excuse to be lazy, really. Um, there's no excuse. Yawn. Excuse me. So there's just so much about what Star Stable does that I don't agree with. Like, it's it makes me upset because I know that Star Stable is capable of better. And what are you gonna do? You know, there's another one of my ideas that I suggested that I would have loved to see. Walking horses, because they're such an amazing breed, what I would have loved to see is exchange the trot for a running walk. And instead of a running walk, give them a rack. That would be so pretty. And then for your space animation, make them park out. Parking out is when their feet are completely square and they will stand postured with their back legs pretty far out. They're on an angle. They look kind of like a wedge. Um, and they stand there in a beautiful position. If you press space, they park out, and they stay parked out until you press space again. You're not allowed to move until you cancel their park out, because in real life, you cannot move out of a park out until you move and until you back the horse up. So unless you back up the horse, they're going to stay parked out. I think that'd be such a neat addition. It'd be so cool to see that. But they completely dropped the ball. Like, it's such a unique and amazing horse that they could have done so many crazy things with, and they just chose not to. Because lazy, just trying to make money. They don't really care. They don't do enough research to know what they're even talking about at all. So what are you gonna do? You know? I just noticed that this pony has a different mane selection than literally all of the others. Why are they all different? What the heck? That is so totally beyond the point. Um, um, I can honestly ramble about that like indefinitely. It's shameful, in my opinion, the levels that they will go to to be lazy just to make some money. They don't know a single thing about horses, like not a lick, and yet they pass it off like they do. And why? Because if you're going to, you know, um, put all this effort into making these horses and to giving kids a product that they love, why not lean into the passion of the project? Why not give them something different? I am so passionate about this game because I've seen where it has started and I've seen where it is now. The Star Stable community is a business. Well, the Star Stable team is a business. The community doesn't know what they want. There's really no one person to listen to, and they are making strides to change. And honestly, I'd say before they even make giant changes to the actual game itself, I'd love to see them make the chat changes that they keep promising. Um, Children play this game. I was literally in an argument last night with someone saying that, oh, this game isn't kid friendly, so I'm not going to watch what I say. And I said, it doesn't matter that it is not currently kid friendly. They are finally making strides to make it that way. So, could you be nice? You know? Could you try and help? Because there's now an in-game report feature for those of you who did not know. If you click on a player's name, at the very bottom of the list of options, you have report player. This is good because now all of these players who were previously saying rather vile things can now be kept in check. Just yesterday, there were people spamming global and saying, oh, you can't tell me what to do, I can do whatever I want. When people brought up that there's now a report feature, they started crying to chat and getting off their high horse and being like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. No, you're not sorry. You just don't want to be reported. Your entertainment is watching people get mad, and when those people who get mad finally have, a foot to stand on and are actually able to do something about your annoying behavior, suddenly you're afraid? Okay. Yep, that sounds right. So, you know, it's good that now there are actually things that we can do in game to report this behavior that we see and to do what we can to improve it where we can. I like this direction that the game is going in, but, there's always going to be things that happen that we don't agree with, and chat, you can still get away with saying almost anything. I literally just this morning saw someone say the N-word. People are going to be nasty because they can. The report feature is a step in the right direction, although I do not believe that it is the end-all be-all solution. Star Stable is going to treat it like it is, but giving us a little message, telling us the chat rules, this is not going to change, the behavior. The ability to punish these behaviors will. I also saw people I don't think that online safety is really taken seriously enough either. People being like, oh, well, this chat has always been horrible, so I'm just not going to respect it, is not the attitude that we should have. I know that chat is not great, and saying anything is really, really difficult, but, there are certain things that I agree with here. Like, for example, not being able to share other websites, such as Instagram, Discord, and Facebook. Yeah, no, I agree. Like, this is, and like sexual explicit content, all of this. People are saying, oh, well, they should allow us to, um, you know, advertise for these other things, to talk with our clubs outside of game. I don't believe that that's a good idea, because again, you might be an adult, but the players who play this game most likely are not. And even if they are, you should treat everybody as though they are probably underage. And I say that because people who are sexual predators are going to exploit, the fact that these kids are exposed to these older people. Kids always want to be like the cool kids. And if the cool kids are cussing and sharing weird facts about themselves and all kinds of stuff like that, that's what these kids are going to do. So, by making it completely unallowed and don't share any other social medias, it keeps those kids safe. Same with if you treat everyone in this game like they're a child, you're less likely to say something stupid. Whenever I'm talking in global, I'm usually trying to defend these kids. If I see stuff, I will call it out. And the way I kind of go about chat is, if I'm in a role play with people who I'm friends with, I'm a little more loose on what I say. I try and be very detailed and do some really good role plays. I love to role play, but if it's people who I don't know, then I am a little bit more relaxed on that, and I don't try and be as detailed or in depth because I might say something that is not okay for kids. Not saying that I'm like writing explicit scenes or anything, but um, I don't want to describe a horse getting hurt and a kid read that, like kids kids don't really want to hear about that. So, um, hunters and predators of children will often lull kids into a false sense of security, get them to share their socials, and then talk with them out there and kind of normalize these weird discussions. Um, so for the fact that people say that they want it to be acceptable to share social medias, I don't agree with. Um, that's a good way to get kids hurt and to exploit them. So if you're one of those people who thinks, oh, the chat should be more lenient and I should be able to share this, that, and the other, think about those kids. I understand that the child audience might not be as big as it used to be, and maybe it is. The reason you don't know is because you are no longer that child audience. You are now older. And again, just because you matured doesn't mean the game has. So if you want to play a more mature game, play a different one. Leave Star Stable for the kids and for the people who can be respectful. I'm not gatekeeping and saying that no one should play this game once you hit a certain age, because obviously I'm way past that age. Um, I think that you should be able to play as long as you can be respectful and understand that there are kids on this game, that not everyone you're talking to is an adult, and you want to keep that child safe, you know? Imagine if that was your little sibling and they were exposed to a child predator. How would you feel if something happened to your sibling, you know? I treat everyone on this game like, unless they're being a bully, I treat everyone like they are my little sister. Um, I wouldn't, my sister was almost a victim of that. She was talking to a predator, and luckily my parents found out before anything happened, and the guy was arrested. Um, I don't want that to happen to any of these girls. Luckily it was stopped, but imagine if it wasn't. I don't want anybody to go through that pain. So please, for the love of God, understand that this game is still for children, and even though you might be older, you're not the target demographic anymore. Be nice, be kind, treat everybody with respect, and at the end of the day, not everyone's going to want the same thing for this game. So even though Star Stable might not be doing what I want, maybe it's what someone else wants. So we'll see how it goes.